So there's a song that I absolutely love. It's by Anthony Hamilton. It's called Catch Me Dreaming. So I was listening to it recently. The line in the chorus goes, "If you catch me dreaming, please don't wake me till I'm done." And it just totally resonated with me. And I came to this realization that, I'm dreaming. Like, I'm living my dream. I want to know what your dreams are. And if you feel like you're living a dream now.
What's really interesting is that when I started, the first time I stepped on a film set as a director, I felt like, why have I not always been doing this? Yeah. And it was so bizarre to me, because it was like this feeling of, I feel like I was made for this.
Yeah.
But like, how can you feel that way about something that hasn't always existed in the history of time? It's like I was born at the right time, because I feel like I was made to do this.
And I feel for me, because I feel my dream is more, it's less tangible. It's more like honoring what I feel in my soul. I don't really have a tangible thing like sport, film, but it's I know it's with people. I know it's thinking about what's happening with people, sort of at an existential level, and that's what I enjoy. So I feel like in many ways that's been part of the journey for me, and that same thing has brought me to this point.
Yeah.
And it's gonna keep leading me to the next thing, which I'm not even fully certain what it's gonna look like.
Yeah. For me, the first thing that was said to me when I was in my first class of masters, they said, don't even imagine that you could work in an agency. Because for that to happen, you have to be either a former athlete, or you need to know somebody who's in the industry, or know somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody. But even then, you need to be a former athlete, And so I was like, crap. Yo, God, I came all the way in New York. This is not a possibility. Like, right now, I work with a boutique agency, and I work with athletes. My boss gave me the direct number to one of the clients. So I was speaking to this client on a one-on-one basis, and I was like, is this my dream? Like, am I actually living my dream? That's like, it's mind-blowing.
Yeah. I used to love the idea of always working on new projects, new clients, short projects.
Yes. Yeah.
Those are the things that really energized me, because I was learning lots of different things. And I remember always feeling like, oh man, I need to know that thing. I just never had that thing, But over time, I think I've had to, and I think a big part of it has come from learning to be comfortable with who I am, and allowing myself to emerge as I show up, and not being so tied up to it looking a certain way.
Yeah.
And also, I'll say I've come across certain people who've given me permission to live in that way. I met this older woman. She was in her 70s, and she was telling me that she's had almost 50 different careers, because she just always follows her heart and follows the next thing, and I could resonate so deeply, because I was like, yeah, that feels more like my journey.
I'm interested in what you're saying in terms of that idea that you're constantly following your heart, and it's like you're a seeker, and you're constantly seeking that thing that fulfills your soul, but it's many different things.
I feel at the core of it, I think I'm just so curious about people. I'm curious about why people do what they do, why people believe what they believe. And I'm just curious in, I like experiencing like another person. And sometimes the experience it's short-lived. Sometimes it's 3 weeks. Sometimes it's much longer. So I worked at a hospital for like almost 3 months, and you go and you visit patients and you offer care to them. And a lot of times it's patients that you might only meet once. Sometimes you have more continuity, but it's really about creating space for them to be, and allowing them to like relieve whatever is showing up for them in that moment, and sort of being that presence in that moment that offers them that space, even if it's just in that moment. And so even for me, a moment like that is just like, wow, it's like all of me is just coming alive.
What you're trying to do is, or what you do really well, is create safe spaces. For me, when I think of her overarching career, I think of someone who creates spaces, which is apt because like you're in construction and you're in architecture and design. So I think it all just totally ties in.
So one of my passions is actually to look at like pre-colonial history in South Africa on the continent, and and just like sort of discover like new stories that just show that there's also like some heroism in our culture. There's just like some beautiful stories in our culture. My desire is to redeem the feminine and the Black identity in cinema. The kind of films that I want to make, I want them to speak to that group of people. I want women and Black people to see holistic versions of themselves on the screen. People will ask me, oh, Pumi, if you ever want to come back, you can. I'm like, I'm not coming back. How can I come back after like my soul feels so fulfilled and like it's exactly where it needs to be. And like no matter how hard it is, because it's rough. It is a rough industry, it is a rough job, and I have had moments where I'm like what did I get myself into? But those moments are they're not regret, they're not this is a mistake, they're just like, this is going to be really, really, really hard. But what's driving me is that I'm meant to be here.